It's been described as an underwater T-Rex. The fossilized skull of a pliosaur has been found to the delight of scientists and the world's most famous documentary maker.
Normally preserving ancient treasures, the ice sometimes traps otherworldly oddities in it. It could be the long-gone mammoths, mythical entities.
That thing is wild.
Or the hardly discovered reptilians that got captured on cameras.
I immediately can tell this isn't human because it's very small, something that has really long arms. Its head is a very different shape.
So tag along as these frozen discoveries will chill you to your bone.
What did I just freaking see, dude?
Mammoth still alive. Mammoths still exist, and the following videos are proof that they are right. Starting with this one right here that was caught in 2012 in Siberia, the video shows the mammoth that should have gone extinct 14,000 years ago, yet here it is crossing a chilling river in Siberia. And if this didn't convince these next clips, definitely will. Back from extinction. This one here was caught in Siberia back in 2018, and experts tested the footage, and it turned out to be 100% real. Now, the previous one, someone did suggest it was a Kodiak Bear with a fish in its mouth, but that cannot be said for this one. The tusks, its thick brown fur, and the iconic hump on the back are clearly visible here. Still don't believe me then? Look at this living mammoth filmed by Delta Force, also in Siberia, more than a decade ago. Reptilians. This enigmatic footage was captured somewhere in China, and it shows two reptilians with crooked backs walking down an empty trail path. Since it was winter, no one was there at the time, but luckily for us, a local had decided to enjoy the cold breeze. It is unsure what they caught on camera because of the video quality. It's hard to tell exactly what these alleged reptilians looked like. Snow walker footage. Yeti is real, and this video proves it. The footage is from 1996 of two mountain climbers on the Himalayan mountains in Nepal. On their journey, they encountered a spine-chilling sight of what they believed to be a Yeti. The creature had long arms and can be seen making its way through heavy snow that was waist-high. It looked quite different from a human being, and considering the treacherous terrain, possible avalanches, it's no place for a prank. So trying to move around in such conditions with a heavy costume is next to impossible. Claws under snow. It looks like a monster is trying to claw its way out from under the snow, but got trapped within the ice. That is why he was so worried about going near it, but the cameraman cleared some snow and tried to yank it. It did not even budge. However, it thankfully doesn't look like a monster, and most likely is a skull of an animal. Alien remains vanished. Nearly 30 years ago in Canada, unsettling photos of a strange creature surfaced online. It was an extraterrestrial being that was captured by a few friends just a few miles away from the local town in Quebec. The alien's head was oddly shaped, with wide open eyes and a gaping mouth, which was very chilling to look at. But of course, they were afraid to get infected by something, so they left it there and planned to come back with proper gear. But this is where things got mysterious. When they came back, the alien was gone, and there were no traces left behind. Yuka Mammoth. Some researchers in Serbia found the remains of a 39,000-year-old mammoth, which was perfectly preserved under ice near the Yuka River. The mammoth's trunk, hooves, and even patches of reddish-brown fur were all intact, and this was great news for the explorers, because now they had something belonging to the Pleistocene era. But what actually surprised the researchers were the human markings that were found on the animal's body, which meant that this specific creature had run-ins with Ice Age people, and it was through careful analysis did they find out about its age. Opium Birds. The truth about these birds will terrify you, and it's not just something to do with the way they look. These birds are really tall and would dwarf anyone on the planet, but what makes them truly horrifying is their gaze. According to folklore, these birds can hypnotize anyone that has the unfortunate luck of crossing paths with them. Not only that, opium birds are not docile, so whether human or animal, everyone is a prey for these creepy 14-foot-tall birds. Frozen alien.
What is it? What the heck?
This cannot be real, because this person claims to have found something out of this world under ice. And I am being serious. A YouTuber was using a metal detector and got a strange signal and found an alien underneath a sheet of ice. But what's mysterious is why did the metal detector go off like that? Makes you guess what exactly happened in this video. Antarctica UFO. At first, it looked like just a round sheet of ice floating on the water. But when the camera zoomed in, the truth became clear. It was a UFO hovering above the ocean in Antarctica. The object cast a massive shadow on the water, clearly flying above it, not floating. As someone who's usually skeptical about UFOs and aliens, I have to admit, this video really made me reconsider. Standing fish. Your eyes are not fooling you. That is literally a fish standing on its fins. And believe it or not, it is 100% real. The clip is short, but it shows a carpfish on ice as it is gasping for air. And why not? It is outside of its home, and the video gained some traction due to its rather unusual nature, with people joking about if the fishes have started to evolve. Whatever the reason, this has to be one of the weirdest fisherman catches of all time. Extraterrestrial Serbian.
Да хуй знает, погоди, смотри.
The alien in the video is about 2 or 3 feet tall, with a large head and long, thin limbs. The video includes a message claiming that your government is lying to you about UFO and alien visitation. This footage of the alleged alien, which has garnered over 1 million views, is considered to be fake, due to the several signs that point towards it being a deliberate fabrication. The first being that they could be heard laughing in the background. Secondly, it shows the alien after a crash, yet no such vessel is visible. Turtle stuck under ice. Now, how did it manage to do that? A confusing video shows a snapping turtle stuck under a sheet of ice. The exact location is unknown, but it was a pond where this person came across it. How did this turtle get under it is concerning, but not as worrying as how it will come out now. Looking closely, it looks like the turtle had something in its mouth, but considering how slow their metabolism is, this turtle might just come out of this alive. Iape. Back in 1968, a chilling discovery shocked everyone in Minnesota when they found a frozen figure. It was over 6 feet tall and was half human, but also half ape. And due to its strange features, there were a lot of rumors as to what it could be. But most people thought it could be only one thing: the elusive Sasquatch that had passed away after running from a predator and accidentally fell into a frozen lake. However, when experts analyzed this frozen creature, they found out it was made from latex and nothing else, something that was used for exhibition. Roundworms of Serbia. They're alive! Scientists revived 46,000-year-old roundworms that had been frozen in Siberian permafrost, 40 meters below the surface. These tiny creatures survived in a state of suspended metabolism, known as cryptobiosis, where life is put on pause. One of the worms was even bred in a lab for 100 generations. Hibernation is one thing. Then there's whatever this is. Ichthyosaur fossil. Scientists in Chile found the first complete ichthyosaur fossil ever found in the country, and they nicknamed her Fiona. This 4-meter-long sea creature was under a melting glacier in Patagonia, but what truly makes Fiona a princess is that she had several embryos inside of her. Dr. Judith Pardo Perez, the first female paleontologist to lead such a big expedition in Patagonia, discovered Fiona in 2009 after an intense 31-day expedition. Her age is somewhere between 129 to 139 million years old. Surviving in frozen water. These alligators poking their mouths from the frozen tundra is a nonetheless chilling sight. Poking their noses out, they are actually not frozen, but are demonstrating a top-class hibernating technique. Gators are cold-blooded animals, which means they need a bit of interaction with sunlight. Well, that's not possible, so they simply poke out their snouts. This process actually helps them in breathing during the cold temperatures. But don't dare go near them, as there is no telling when they'll wake up from deep slumber. Fossil of Terrasaur. On the Isle of Skye in Scotland, scientists accidentally found the fossil of a 170-million-year-old pterosaur, and it was huge. This prehistoric flying reptile had wings over 2.5 meters, or 8.2 feet, the same as an albatross. The discovery happened in 2017 when PhD student Amelia Penny was on a field trip, and she spotted the pterosaur's jaw poking out of some rocks. How cool is that? Meanwhile, I can't even find my favorite pair of socks. New virus unleashed. Of all the things ever found under the ice, this one takes the cake for being the most terrifying. French scientists recently thawed and revived a 48,500-year-old zombie virus from deep beneath a lake in the Siberian permafrost. It's considered one of the most potent viruses discovered to date, and here's the creepy part. This ancient virus was still capable of taking down amoebas. And the scientists do say there is nothing to worry about, but I've seen enough zombie movies. They all say the same thing, and then the world is ending. Monster under ice.
What? It looks like...
According to this footage, monsters might just be real. Or is that the case? A YouTuber found a rake under the ice in Antarctica, thousands of miles away from civilization. The face of this creepy creature looked horrifying, with eyes that looked like they would pop out any second. The video can be found on Slab's Adventure, and it is for entertainment purposes only, as he has a younger audience. Dinosaur cells. Extracted. Scientists made a surprising find when they analyzed some old fossils from Canada, which had been sitting around for a century. While studying these fossils at Imperial College London, researchers accidentally discovered what looked like red blood cells, collagen fibers, and soft tissues that shouldn't have survived for so long. The fossils, which were considered pretty ordinary and shabby, revealed these amazing details. The Viking Leftovers. Sometimes it's the smallest discoveries that get experts really excited, like this Viking artifact, which wasn't a sword or shield, but a simple, everyday mitten. It was discovered in the Lendbreen Mountains and is over 1,000 years old. They even managed to tell which hand it belonged to, the left hand, and it probably got lost when these people were migrating, or maybe someone once lived here. 107-year-old ship. In March 2022, the shipwreck of Sir Ernest Shackleton's Endurance was discovered in the Weddell Sea off the coast of Antarctica by an expedition. This expedition used underwater robots and advanced sonar technology to locate the ship, which had been lost since it sank in 1915 during Shackleton's Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition. Endurance got stuck off the coast and was slowly crushed by the floating ice, forcing the men into one of the most famous feats of survival in history. Remarkably well preserved due to the cold, deep waters, the Endurance's discovery provides valuable insights into early 20th century polar exploration and maritime history. A ton of fossils. Fossil hunting is always an adventure, But things get even more exciting when you're digging in one of the most remote places on Earth. Recently, a tough expedition paid off big time with over a ton of fossils from ancient sea creatures, dinosaurs, and birds that roamed the Earth about 71 million years ago. Researchers from the US, Australia, and South Africa spent 7 weeks camping on Vagot Island. They braved the Antarctic summer to get to Sandwich Bluff, their main dig site. There, they uncovered an incredible treasure of ancient life from the late Cretaceous period. It's like they hit the jackpot of prehistoric finds. Ice dragon skin. This scene looks like it might have been taken out of Game of Thrones, but researchers recently saw it with their own eyes when a rare type of sea ice known as dragon skin formed in Antarctica. This ice formation, which hasn't been seen in Antarctica since 2007, looks like it's covered in dragon scales. This cool phenomenon happens when powerful winds, known as katabatic winds, sweep across the icy surface. These winds keep lifting and moving the ice, which exposes the water below and causes it to freeze again. Guy Williams, a polar oceanographer, explains that it's like repeatedly refilling an ice cube tray. My pants are freezing. Since I've mentioned a lot of creepy discoveries, let's ease those nerves with something a bit more lighthearted. In Minnesota, people found a hilarious and creative twist on the classic snowman: frigid clothes. They soak their clothes in water, then, in the freezing temperatures, the clothes turn rigid as a plank in seconds. Pants standing upright as if an invisible person is wearing them is some next-level frosty fun. Mysterious shape on ice. Website Ancient Code posted a strange picture with a mysterious oval-shaped structure in eastern Antarctica. This shape is about 120 meters or 400 feet across, and the website suggests it might be man-made. But there is an issue with that idea. Antarctica has been covered in ice long before humans even existed. The harsh, frozen landscape has always been too extreme for early humans to live there. And even today, without the best, most advanced tech, no one can go there. So was it man-made, or proof of something extraterrestrial? Frozen Bigfoot.
My father acquired the Bigfoot September 23, 1950.
In 2021, a man shared a video online where he claimed something unbelievable. He showed a huge body in front of him that looked like a Bigfoot and said his father caught it on September 23, 1953. According to the man, they spotted it in a river body and had a hard time getting it out, but it wasn't alive anymore. When the video went viral, people had different opinions about it. Some said it was nothing, just done for attention, while others believed it was all real. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below. Frozen block giant. Check out this strange, massive ice block unearthed in January 2021. But what's inside this block? A standing 6-foot frozen mummy? Alien, or something really otherworldly? The people of Minneapolis stumbled upon this peculiar sight with its shaggy hair and ancient appearance. The thing inside of the ice looked eerily like a primitive caveman. But sadly, before more people could come up with interesting theories, the truth came out telling everyone that it was an art installation by Zach Schumack. Though not a real caveman, the artwork sparked wild imaginations and lively conversations among the community. Yeti Encounter. An unknown person recording in an unknown location caught a giant Yeti rummaging through their backpack. It noticed the person's presence, and the creature did not like that one bit. The video ends as soon as the Yeti makes his way towards the person recording. But, if you ask me, this is obviously fake. However, there is a more compelling video. Watch this clip. In this clip, you can clearly see a Yeti or Sasquatch walking through a dense forest. It was a brief encounter, but a really convincing one. Illusive Bigfoot. A trail camera was set up in west central Alberta to capture wolverines in the area, but found something totally different. Something dangerous and terrifying. A large, dark figure was hiding behind a tree, carefully moving so it didn't reveal its identity. This thing was large and too big to be a person in a costume. Some features of this creature can be made out, especially the large head with dark fur, which is what made enthusiasts believe that this was indeed a Bigfoot or Sasquatch. But since it never appeared in front of the camera and snuck away from behind the tree, we will never truly know. Alaskan Sasquatch. This was captured by a drone enthusiast exploring a forest in Alaska. And call me crazy, but it looks like a hairy creature walking on two legs, almost like a Sasquatch. The drone owner couldn't believe his eyes either and flew closer to get a good look. But by then, the mysterious bipedal became difficult to spot because of the angle. Ice Age horse. In Russia's Batagay area, scientists were able to locate something that was so perfectly preserved. They thought someone was playing a prank on them. They found a well-preserved foal from the extinct Lenskava horse species. What's even more astonishing is that they stumbled upon it while working on ancient woolly mammoth remains. This young horse looks nothing like modern-day horses, which means there has been some kind of evolution, even in horses. Or maybe this species was totally different from all the other species we know of now, which makes a lot of sense considering it went extinct 40,000 years ago, and since it's the only one they ever found, it's possible this was the last one of its kind. Ancient cave bear. In February 2012, reindeer herders stumbled upon an incredible discovery that rocked the scientific community. They found remains of a 35,000-year-old brown bear. Unlike previous finds, this bear's skin, soft tissues, and fur were all well intact. Also, this remarkable discovery provided scientists with a unique opportunity to study the bear's brain and organs, shedding light on secrets lost over millennia. It was later named the Etherican bear after its discovery near the Bolshoi Etherian River. Giant sloth. While digging a tunnel for a new railway line in Los Angeles, workers found fossils of a giant sloth and a bison. This discovery was made about 16 feet underground in Park Mesa Heights, including a sloth's hip bone and a piece of a bison's radius bone. The giant sloth, known as Harlan's ground sloth, weighed up to 1 to 500 pounds and reached 10 feet in length. Both species vanished at least 10,000 years ago. Scientists from the La Brea Tar Pits and Museum took about 8 days to identify these fossils. They likely roamed the area between 11,000 and 40,000 years ago, during the late Pleistocene era. Ancient frozen cubs. In 2015, a team of mammoth tusk hunters struck gold in the Abiysky district of Yakutia, Siberia, Russia. But it wasn't mammoths they found. It was something even more incredible. 2 remarkably well-preserved lion cubs in the permafrost. These 12,000 years old ancient cubs were from the Pleistocene epoch. But what really blew scientists away was the level of preservation. These cubs were practically pristine, with their fur, whiskers, and even internals amazingly intact. It gave scientists a rare chance to study the anatomy, behavior, and evolutionary history of these prehistoric predators. Frozen rescue. 2 residents of Kazakhstan found a deer that was literally and figuratively frozen in ice. The deer's entire face was covered in snow, which made it practically impossible for it to move or see anything. The weight from the snow held its head down. But they held the deer down and started to remove as much snow as they could. It wasn't easy as the deer kept trying to escape. But thankfully, they were able to provide the necessary help, and the deer went on its merry way. Mulland of Greenland. Holes in the Greenland ice sheet, known as mullands, are way bigger than we thought. These giant holes take surface meltwater to the base of the ice sheet. A new study, led by a team including a geologist from the University of Arkansas, used observations and hands-on exploration to measure the size of these moulins. They looked at how the size of the moulins affects the water depth variations during the summer melt season. This research helped in understanding better how water moves and interacts with the ice sheet's base. Mystery of red and pink snow. Those pink and red patches of snow you see in the summer, they're not from a spilled snow cone or paint. They're actually algae living in the snow. These tiny organisms live in high-altitude snowfields worldwide, turning the snow pink by producing a red pigment during warmer months. This pigment helps protect them from the sun's rays. Dark colors absorb more heat, so this pigment shields the algae from getting too much sun. Just a millimeter of snow can hold 500,000 of these algae. When they release their red pigment all at once, they make the snow look pinkish. Snow monsters. This isn't an art project, but rather Japan's natural snow monsters. In places like Zawansen in Japan, heavy snowfall and freezing temperatures team up to transform trees into eerie, frozen sculptures. The snow monsters are basically trees heavily coated in ice and snow, creating bizarre, otherworldly shapes. But Mother Nature got a lot more creative in Russia when ice shards started appearing on a frozen lake, panicking divers over the strange spectacle. Frozen waves of Antarctica. Yep, they're real and look incredible. These huge icy waves were formed when layers of ice got compressed, squeezing out trapped air bubbles. This stunning blue color happens because as the ice melts and refreezes, it forces out air, letting blue light pass through while absorbing the red. It might sound wild to visit Antarctica, but if you do, you might just catch a glimpse of these amazing frozen waves. Prehistoric Specimen. There might be more species that once roamed our planet than what we are being told. I mean, look at this. And you might say this is fake, but there is an actual discovery of a massive sea serpent that was found. It was discovered in the United Kingdom, but the discovery of ichthyosaur fossils proves that these sea monsters were spread throughout our planet. Jurassic Jaw. In December 2023, a fossil of a sea monster with 130 razor-sharp teeth and a bite as powerful as a T-Rex's was found. This pliosaur, a fearsome predator from 75 million years ago, was underneath cliffs near Kimmeridge Bay on Dorset's Jurassic coast. Unlike modern animals that chew their food, this ancient beast tore its prey apart. The discovery, made from a 2-meter-long skull, was a challenging excavation, but is set to be displayed, drawing global attention from scientists eager to study this ancient terror of the seas. Subscriber's pick. Dragons have been caught in different parts of the world and sighted by many witnesses. Now, whether you believe that or not, it's up to you and I won't argue with you on it. But in China, a 240 million-year-old dragon fossil was found just 6 months ago. So this is a pretty recent discovery. The wings, spiky tail, and head all were well preserved, like how ammonite fossils are preserved. So seeing this, and then a few weeks ago, another video showing a tiny dragon is enough evidence for now. And who knows? Maybe they'll pop up out of nowhere someday. But till that day arrives, keep watching my videos, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly do so. Helps me out. Thank you. See you in the next one.